This is a Professor, CBMD PhD, and today is Thursday, July 31st, 2025. It is 2:47 and 18 seconds, p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and today's research, UFO 1957. So let's hop to it here. At the height of the November 1957 flap, a resident of rural Montville, Ohio had a close-range sighting of UFO. The report quickly spread to newspaper reporters, area civil defense officials, and others. The witness, Alden Moore, stated that not only was he interrogated by representatives of the federal government, but also he was taken to Washington, D.C., and questioned repeatedly over a 3-day period. At the conclusion, he was sworn to secrecy. After more than 3 years' observance of this, he decided the need for revealing his story superseded the need for secrecy. So he told his story to newspaper reporter Don Berliner, then of the Painesville, Ohio Telegraph, on January 21, 1961. Moore stated that, within 2 weeks of the sighting, he was taken to Youngstown, Ohio, AFB by car, then to Wright-Patterson AFB by helicopter, and from there to an airbase within 20 to 30 minutes, drive of Washington, D.C., probably Andrews AFB, in a small Air Force transport plane. At all times, he was accompanied by 2 government representatives. During his stay in Washington, he was quartered in a hotel-like room with one of the government men who impressed Moore as being there for the purpose of keeping an eye on him. Questioning and interviewing took place in the basement of the building in which he stayed. The U.S. courthouse fits the description. Upstairs are hotel-like jury rooms. In the basement are many offices, including those of U.S. Marshals. The only time he was permitted to leave the building prior to departure was for a brief guided tour of some historic and scenic areas, which proved highly impressive to one who had never before seen the nation's capital. The interrogation, according to Moore, was not so much a question and answer session as a corroboration by him of details of his experience. An important example was a thing you saw as such as such. His answer in almost every instance was affirmative. This led him to conclude that his questioners were less interested in learning what he had seen than in finding out how much he had detected. He said he got the definite impression that those asking the questions were quite familiar with that he had seen. At the end of the 3rd day of questions, Moore was required to sign a statement promising never to tell of his trip to Washington. Upon returning home, all he would tell the officers is that he had talked with some officers at home and others elsewhere. His wife said he was taken to Washington, but Moore did not confirm this at the time. Don Berliner, who interviewed Moore in 1961, was highly impressed by his sincerity, lack of sensationalism, and awareness of the seriousness of revealing information he had promised to keep secret. This material was not published by Mr. Berliner at the time because of his sensitive nature. However, Mr. Moore did offer to tell his story to a committee or subcommittee of Congress, which might be interested. Allegedly, the Air Force government spokesman on the subject has withheld nothing from the public. The implication of Moore's story is that considerable information has been withheld. A congressional inquiry into this matter would appear to be fully justified. The 1956 sighting of a huge disc by the crew of a Navy transport over the Atlantic was followed by the personal visit to the aircraft commander by a government scientist. The man took a set of photographs out of a briefcase and showed them to the pilot, asking him to point out the object he saw. The commander quickly identified one of the pictures as the machine he had seen, whereupon the unnamed scientist put the picture back, refused to comment further, and departed. The obvious implication of this incident is that someone in the government has considerably more information about UFOs than has been released by the Air Force. It tends to substantiate Alden Moore's report. This video was created for educational purposes only. Codename Will. Professor Christopher Brunette, leader of research, scientist, ufologist, psychic, computer programmer, computer technician, philanthropist, writer, mathematician, artist, photographer, film producer, chef, animal, and nature lover. Passion, world peace. Hope you enjoyed listening. Until next time, have an excellent day. This is a Professor, CBMD PhD, and today is Thursday, July 31st,